This week on Louder Pop Culture Podcast, come join us as we discuss our concerns with Unreal Engine 5 and more. All that on Louder Pop Culture Podcast. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode of Loud, a pop culture podcast. This is in fact episode number 24. That's right, we're numbering the episodes now. It's much easier. I am your host Tomye West, and joining me as always is my co-host Alannis Maximus.
Me.
How you going, man?
Yeah, not bad. It is giant Spider-Man head coffee o'clock.
Oh, nice. That is big. It's nearly as big as your
I mean, if you're not drinking out of Spider-Man's head, are you really drinking coffee?
No, I guess not. Now I'm just gonna start drinking some coffee and then buy myself a mug like that.
Yeah.
I'll be on your way. Now, before we get into any more conversation, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, or share. It would appreciate it. We would appreciate it. Blah, blah. And by the way, this show will soon be on Apple Podcasts, along with our show Ranked and Reviewed, which we put our whole backlog into. So you can go back and listen to that shit audio if you don't want to watch the video. It might be also a little bit easier for some of you who are working or whatever and can't watch the video and can't keep YouTube open because you don't have YouTube Premium. So yeah, maybe this is going to open up some avenues for everybody. How do you feel about that, Alannis?
I feel good about it. Yes.
Very good. Very good.
I can't think of a big word, so we'll go with good.
Good.
I feel electrified.
Good. Good. I do too, man. So, after that awkward just little cut we had to do there, Alan. That's right. We're going to be discussing our concerns with Unreal Engine 5. We're going to talk the Harry Potter PS5 immersion trailer, Sony PlayStation's newest debacle, old is new and 2022, and Starfield being delayed. But you might be wondering, where is all the movie news? Where is all the TV show news? Well, we thought we would mainly touch on the first story we're going to touch on, which is our concerns with Unreal Engine 5, and make that basically the major portion of the show, and then we will get to the next ones as sort of closes on the podcast. How do you feel about that sort of direction we're going, Alan?
That sounds good to me.
I just think that way we can cover one topic and do it justice. So with that, let's get into it straight away. First, we were discussing our concerns with Unreal Engine 5. We came up with this idea to talk about this today by discussing what we're going to talk about in a later on story, which is Sony's newest debacle, and how when Unreal Engine 5 comes out, PlayStation may have a little bit of a problem when it comes to implementing Unreal Engine 5, as Sony PlayStation 5 will not and has not been built to run on an Unreal Engine 5, which I wasn't aware of, but apparently Xbox Series X has the capability to do so. So, Alan, I wasn't aware of that detail, so can you maybe explain a little more of what you know about it?
Yeah, pretty much from what I understand at the moment, talking to some more PC-minded friends, it came up over the weekend. Now, first of all, it looks sensational. I recommend people looking up what some people have done, like they ported Mass Effect and Cyberpunk into the engine.
Well, if you're watching now on video format, this is a video courtesy of they are called Game Ranks. This is going to show you some footage while we talk about it of some of the stuff they've done in Unreal Engine 5.
Dude, prime example, Cyberpunk. Like, it looks real. That shit is amazing.
Yeah, it does look cool.
Yeah, the concerns are, well, at this point, neither console, as they stand, have the power to run this, which puts them both on the back foot. And I think at the end of the day, because Microsoft are notorious for not using the capabilities of the Xbox despite it being there, we're going to see probably another generation of consoles once this drops prematurely. Maybe even the end of consoles as we know them. My prophecy is it's going to become more like just a task-specific computer that you can upgrade. Except for Nintendo, who just like to innovate in different ways, and that's fine. But the Xbox, unlike the PlayStation, which Tomye was mentioning, whilst it doesn't have the capability at the moment, it's modular. So its components aren't all fused to the motherboard. So there's potential there that you might be able to upgrade the Series X. Whereas with the PlayStation, it's all essentially one piece. It's not customizable in that way. So in the next few years, once this drops, we're going to see something big, and I think a big hit to consoles apart from Nintendo.
Well,
a paradigm shift, if you will.
Well, I'm not really too concerned about graphic capability yet, just because I still think games that are using this technology are a fair way off for us because they've only kind of just unveiled it, and I think developers only have had access to it as of like the last 6 months, maybe, like in that time frame, which means we're not going to see games for another 2 to 3 years, maybe at least, or like big games anyway. We might see like demo pieces, like we might see like tech demos of certain properties or whatever, or we might see Xbox release something or whatever. I don't know. These are just like thoughts off the top of my head, But I don't think we'll have to worry about it soon. And I honestly think that if PlayStation are thinking about a Pro model for PS5 down the road, that's a thing that they'll take into account, is making Unreal Engine 5 be working on that console. And I think that they'll be like, well, if you want PS4 Pro, which is what they did with PS4, remember? They released PS4 with HDMI 1080p, and you could simulate like a 4K thing, but it wasn't proper 4K or whatever, I believe. No, that's right. It was just 1080p. Released the PS4 Pro, which I don't think it was like full 4K. I think it like mimicked it or some shit. I can't remember fully, but it was 4K and HDR ready. So I think that that's what they'll do with their next upgrade on PlayStation, is like go, well, if you want the better graphic capability, you got to buy it this way or whatever, And I still think that people that are making games for PlayStation 5 and make stuff for Unreal Engine 5 will make a PS4 port, PS5 port to work, because PlayStation's just such a big part of the video game industry that ignoring them would be silly,
Yes.
So what are your predictions on like a PlayStation 4 Pro being the one that can take advantage of that, and that's probably what Sony will do? What's your opinion on that?
I hope that's what they do. I'm not techie enough to know how the implications will go with, like, there might be a way they can just dumb it down for consoles, like not have it in the Unreal 5 engine, but not pushing it in the way it would push for a PC or anything that has the power to do it. I don't know if it'll work that way. If it does, I think that will be better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's also going to shift that. Like, I think.
I'm just thinking about it from an example of like, GTA, the definitive edition. Look, they transferred that from one engine to another. I know that's like we're talking about going forwards from backwards rather than from forwards to backwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I still think that that's an example of how you can still put a game from a different engine into another engine. Yeah, okay, it didn't come out the most polished and didn't exactly work out the best for fucking Grove Street games, but it's shown that it can be done, and if they would have just implemented more time to it and not rushed it out, maybe we would have gotten a better product. So
yeah. And I mean, another way it could go as well, you may even see more of a shift in games for consoles opposed to games for PC. I don't know. There's a lot of directions it could go. But I think the way it is going, and it has kind of slowly been going for a while with things like the Steam box, and then slowly kind of coming into the market. I think eventually the industry is going to push it that the PS6 and the Xbox, whatever, who knows how Microsoft count. It's going to be to the point where it's just going to be a computer that you plug into your TV to play games on. I think.
Yeah. Well,
the next 10 years or less.
I mean, how much do graphics, like, how much are graphics important? Like, how important are they to you? Because to me, while PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, I'm so used to saying PS4. While PS5 may not be able to do graphics like that, it still feels like they are majority of the time ahead of the competition, usually with their cinematic like cutscenes and things like that. So how badly do you think PlayStation need more graphic capability compared to?
It's really, really what you want out of it. And I mean, for most games, I'll take good story over high-end graphics and online content. But it also depends on the game. Like, if I was playing something that, for example, Elite Dangerous, that's something that, a game like that where there isn't that much story, it's more you are the story kind of thing and you're flying through space and whatever. Probably that kind of thing, I think I lean more towards graphics. But generally speaking, as someone who mainly just plays story games, I'll be less bothered by not having high-end graphics than by having it.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about it and I was like, but it's a tough one because I can play games that aren't like something that people talk about with like their graphic capability, but they talk about how the narratives are great. But the thing is also, I think Sony PlayStation are known for showcasing both at once. And when one's lacking compared to the other, it usually isn't a PlayStation first party game. It's usually a third party game because PlayStation puts so much thought and time into their own, So what we're seeing right now on screen is The Last of Us Part 2 in Unreal Engine 5. And if you look at that in like tech demo wise of what they're showing you can look like, think about the level of detail that's already there that they've already done. Like PlayStation are just known for like making everything seem real, like seem realized and thought out. So I don't know if graphics are a super important thing. I mean, it is technically because PlayStation and Xbox are competing on that sort of par where they have to. What the fuck? My TV just went off, bro. It's like so dark in my room. I'm like out in the woods, like camping. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, ooh.
Why the fuck is Superman there?
Dude, that looks dope. The city looks really good. Oh man, like see, like Unreal Engine, it looks promising, yeah. And these are all tech demos. So until I see a game like where I'm like, they say it's running on Unreal Engine 5 and you need a certain thing to buy it, and I'm drawn into it, I'm not really concerned too much. But I do see what you're saying that what I'm confused about is how come they didn't have this ready? I mean, how come they timed the new consoles to come out when this wasn't ready? But this got announced at the same time as the consoles basically got released. So it's like, surely they would have had insider information that Unreal Engine were working on their new engine and all that. But it almost feels like they were like, fuck it, we'll just do another upgraded console. So how do you feel about like maybe that was the whole intention? Is like, let's get it out now and then let's try to get double the cash. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's I think it's either a clusterfuck, which this next generation has been rolled out like, I think is believable, or as you said, it's a way to get money. It's a way to either for both to go, here's our new Go Faster Stripes, or here's our Go Faster Stripes from Sony, here's our upgrades from Microsoft. I'm not sure which one it is. It's either being crafty or just being unprepared.
and looking at Cyberpunk again, man, this game is so awesome looking on the trailers, and I've never seen a game that I still look at now and go, man, I want to play this. but still not want to play the game. It's so whack, man. Like, it looks way too good for what it actually is when you jump into that world and play, eh?
Yeah. I'm waiting for the DLC because I hammered through the story and then was left it with like shit tons of side stuff, but no story. I'm like, this is less compelling.
I guess
Yeah.
I guess we got some advertisements for these other YouTubers in here. Whatever.
I also I stand by it that the fans screwed over CD Projekt Red with that one. It's no. I don't think they dropped the ball. I think the ball was dropped
I
for
want to
them.
hear your take on why. I want to hear your take on why you think that is, because I've got a view that about the last gen version being shouldn't have never been released in the first place. But
I think that
yeah.
definitely. But they also I can remember seeing the initial announced trailer for this game over 10 years ago, and it's been being worked on and being worked on and being worked on. And it got to the point where the fans are going, don't push it back anymore. Or some fans are going, don't push it back anymore, and force them to put it out. And then they released the underprepared game that, one, performed poorly on the last gen consoles, and two, I mean, yeah, there were some glitches, but man, if you've played a Fallout game or you've played a Skyrim Elder Scrolls game, or pretty much nearly any game these days that's released, day one, you get glitches, and this wasn't the worst. People just they wanted the perfect game, but they also rushed it when they were told it's not quite ready. So it's like they wanted the cake and ate it too, and then just
I just think that
on CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, that's a fair view to have, but I still think that as the person making as the company making the product, you have a certain mission, and while people are impatient, you can't also let that decide your next business strategy move. Like, you've got to look at what the end product is and decide if it's ready or not. And if it's not, you never release something just to get it out. You get it out when it's the best and most prepared for the audience. And I feel like they knew this entire time that it would not run on PlayStation 4 the way they wanted it, and said, just ship it, print it, we'll patch it before it comes out. And I just don't think they thought the job was going to be as big as it ended up being, and they weren't able to get the game into a runnable state for older gen in the time frame before the game was released. And they were like, holy shit. So I almost feel like CD Projekt Red will ship it because we need the money and we want the money, and we'll deal with the problem later. And that's not how you make games, and that's not how you release a finished product, you know? So
unfortunately, unless you're Nintendo, that's the way it usually goes these days, which sucks. But yeah, it confuses me because, as I said, the benchmark for glitchy games, Bethesda, they get nothing. Like, they've delayed. We'll get into it more with the ending story, but they've delayed a game. It's not going to come out unglitchy. It's not going to come out finished.
The thing about that is, though, that they were still pretty playable. And me and you, I know you didn't play the Cyberpunk PS4 version or the Xbox version on the older machines, but I'm talking they were getting 7 frames per second and shit, tearing on the old consoles, and enemies were running around in circles. It was completely broken, where people were like, you can't even play this game, it's fucking trash. So that's why I look at it a little bit different as to CD Projekt Red fucking up really big, because the game was in such a state that when it launched, it was unplayable for 90% of the people out there that were playing the game, because the consoles were brand new at the time, the PS5 and Xbox Series X, and they were basically not available anywhere for people. So most people went out and bought the older gen version, and most people got screwed over. And I think people on the older gen version are still waiting for a version that's going to fix these problems, but they haven't yet.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Me either, man. And I wish they would have just done what Gotham Knights did, which is Gotham Knights just announced that they're cancelling last gen versions of the game. And even though it was slated for releasing this year on those gen consoles, it's not anymore. And I believe that's because Warner Brothers were like, we want this game to run at a certain satisfactory speed or frame rate or whatever, or have this sort of level of graphics, and we thought we could achieve it, and it's not turning out. And that's what I'm saying. We're looking at videos here, and you're like, oh, I don't know if it works that you could get something out of one engine to another backwards or whatever. Well, we're looking at them with Spider-Man, The Last of Us Part 2. Like, it is a definite example that if you can go forwards, I'm sure they could go back. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just... technology's amazing, man, and I'm not a game developer, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Just it makes sense to me that there would be a way to dull it down from running on an Unreal Engine 5, but still not have to make any changes to the actual game itself, but actually just port it so it runs. I don't know, but I'm not a game developer. That's why it's not my job. So, but yeah, like, what are you looking forward to most out of Unreal Engine 5? Are you looking forward to like a better frame rate? Are you looking forward to the graphic capabilities, or are you looking forward to, like, what's the main thing you want out of Unreal Engine? Because I know engines bring on more than just graphics. They bring on new gameplay, like, you know,
I think
elements that you could possibly do, you know. So
I think the power it has, which obviously, well, I mean, at least I'm also not a super techie, but my basic understanding is with the power it has, is also like more populated cities, as you said, better graphics and that, which whilst isn't everything, is still pretty cool to see. Like I'm not too big on it needing to be there, but if it's accessible to me, it excites me. I think is the best way to put that.
yeah, well, I mean, I think it has a lot of promise and potential, but I also think that it is going to be a similar case of where PCs have always been able to do really intense stuff compared to consoles. And I think that the first thing, of course, that'll adopt the Unreal Engine technology, the new one, is PC before consoles. And I believe that that's where it'll stop for at least a little while, because that's what I was going to ask you. What do you think this will end up costing if they were to build a console, the new Unreal Engine 5, like a capable graphics card like that? Because we all know that the current graphics cards are still really expensive, and the really good ones, high-end ones. And if you're going to do that, but you're a console player, you kind of may as well just buy the next console instead of the graphics card. So that's where I'm having I don't know if it's going to be a big thing or it's not. You know, what do you think about that? What's your bet on price and graphics card capability?
I think by the time it's ready, because as we said, it's probably a good couple of years before it comes out. I think it might force the market to have a bit more out there and drop prices. But yeah, I think if it was a whole new console, I reckon you'll be looking at what you were paying for the X Series or the PS5 being the 700-800. I think they were.
Yeah, that's Australian dollars, by the way.
That's it. But I think I'll probably have to know more about if it's just the graphics card that you need to upgrade on the Xbox, if with the processor as well, and things I don't really know much about would need to be upgraded. So it'll be hard to say. Like, I really don't know what kind of cost you'll be looking at there.
Yeah,
but I think it could even move in the way of, like, it's no secret the Xbox Series S, you can get one from the shop. No one wants one unless they're desperate. But even then, it's an underspec. It's in between the Xbox One and the Xbox Series X. You're not getting the same thing like you are with the slim PlayStation. I reckon that may go by the wayside, and you'll have the option of either upgrading your Xbox so it can perform to do this, but not as well, or you can get the new console for a couple of $100 more.
Well, I'm looking at it in a Series S, man, because as I said, I've got the PlayStation 5 for all my sort of like higher end graphic games, and I just want Series S so that I can get into the ecosystem, really.
Yeah.
Just, I like to have choice, and I'm not, fanboy, so I don't mind. I like playing games, and it doesn't matter what the console is. It's got to have good games, and if it doesn't have good games, there's no point in having a good console. So me, if it's got some shit that I want to play, I don't care who it's from. I want to play it. You know what I mean? I don't understand this. I don't understand this tribalism mentality of being like, but fuck Sony or fuck Xbox. Like they don't care about you.
I shit stir, and it's really easy to fish. Apparently, even especially against like your PC nobility, it's really easy to fish a reaction out of them, and I do that for fun. But the core of it, it's a toy. You have fun with it, and if you have fun in your way, then you have fun in your way. It doesn't make you better or worse. It doesn't make you a peasant or nobility. It makes you
exactly
someone playing with a toy.
And if you're obviously well off enough with money and can afford to do so, why wouldn't you spoil yourself with? You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Like, why would you close yourself off to more options when you can afford it? Like, don't be a fanboy and then like ruin shit for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
That's like I'm at the moment considering a computer more as a tool than a gaming device, and I'm thinking along the lines of getting that computer as a dedicated kind of streaming and editing machine that will be able to play older games, but also getting a PlayStation. Because then I can access that catalog a lot easier. Not everything I want to play is going to be on PC straight away.
I'm not going to play PC, man. It's not even the fact that people are like, but you can use a controller. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not my TV though. Like, I want to sit where my TV is and play on my TV. Like, unlike some people, I don't have 270 inches. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know. I just couldn't imagine playing on a computer, even with like an ultra wide monitor. It's still a foreign. Like, a computer is where I sit when stuff I need to do or want to do. It's not where I sit to game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, for me, it's because you can now transfer your account. It's the only way I'm pretty much going to play Elite the way I want to play it, Elite Dangerous. And a lot of strategy games, like your real-time strategy games, just don't come across or don't translate well to console because they try, but it's not the kind of game you can play with a controller.
No.
So, I mean, that's the main kind of thing I'll be playing with even an outdated kind of computer if I was to play games on it. But yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm a Mac man, so I mean, there's no fucking. But Mac's pretty powerful. Like, I mean, like, do you know much about specs? Obviously, you would. So, like, mine is 5K processor, 3.5 gigahertz quad core Intel i5, memory 32 gigabyte, startup graphics AMD Radeon R9 2 gigabyte. So it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's like a 128 solid state drive as well, 128 gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a tool, like a task-specific tool, Macs they're very good at what they do. They're
I think they're unbeatable for media.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And that's coming from someone who uses both. I like Windows as well. Like, I'm not just stuck to one. I'm like agnostic with both of them. So is that the right term you'd use with it? Agnostic?
If you want to go with the religious sense.
It's religious, baby.
It works for me.
With that was a good chat, man. Like, I think that we covered pretty much all bases with Unreal Engine 5 and what we're looking forward to and what we're not.
And if anyone else has anything else to say, comments.
Just remember, we're video game playing idiots. So we're not experts on this stuff. So if we've said stuff and you guys are like sitting there rolling your eyes, shaking your heads, going, these guys just, no, that's not what please let us know, because as I said, we're video game playing idiots.
And if you also want to be a smartass about it, we don't give a fuck.
Because we're video game playing idiots. I like CCs and Doritos. I don't think they've got CCs in America, do they?
I don't know. They just got Violet Crumble, I found out.
What?
Yeah. Only just. Which, I mean, if you got Crunchy, you've got Violet Crumble, so.
Exactly. I'm looking up quickly if they have it. And while we do that, let's get on to our second story, which is we're going to have a quick watch of the Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy PS5 immersion trailer. Have you seen this yet, Alan?
I have not, so this is new to me.
Well, let's fire it up. Well, get yourself and strap in, baby. Dude, that fucking game looks phenomenal. If it is as good as it looks, like this is easily on par to being one of my most hyped games for the next calendar year. Like, I am excited about this. I am excited about Gotham Knights. I'm excited about The Quarry. And there's
Oh, that's soon as well.
Yeah, so we're talking next month for The Quarry. And what I think we're going to do is we're going to do our first impressions on that game as a video. We're also going to do some content on it, man. We're going to do, is it crossplay? Because if it's crossplay, we're going to make a little mini series where we play together.
That is something that shits me these days, is the amount of things that aren't and then become crossplay. It's like, why not just do it? Like, this is the way of the future. Do it.
I'm looking it up now. The Quarry Cross. All right, let's have a look. Oh, fuck off. It still doesn't support it. Doesn't support it. But well,
Why?
I think we should both maybe even do some streams of it separately then for the audience. And then I think we should do a review episode on it and a spoiler review too. And that'll be a fun review to do, bro, because we'll be able to talk about the differences and like go, what? How did you get? What happened to that character and shit? It's gonna be sick. But back to the PS5 Hogwarts Legacy trailer. What are your thoughts on it?
It does look cool. It looks like some fun. Is this with it being a Sony trailer? Is that just like going about the features that's going to have, or is this PS exclusive? This game?
I don't think it's PS exclusive. I'll have a quick look.
Also, what are adaptive triggers? Is that just a buzzword to say fancy trigger?
It has tension in them and stuff. So, like when you fire guns and that, it can feel like a real trigger or whatever. So that is pretty cool. It's a multi-platform. So it's from Alannis Studios. It's coming to Nintendo Switch, which is amazing. PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, and Microsoft Windows.
It would be interesting to see when it comes out on Switch if it launches at the same time. Because Switch games never glitch. It'll be interesting to see if it glitches on other consoles.
It's because they're cloud streaming. So The Witcher Wild Hunt, if you buy the cartridge, The Witcher for the Nintendo Switch, like with The Witcher 3, and put it in, it like downloads a certain file and like grants you access, but it's like from the cloud.
Oh, that makes sense. I did not know that. There you go.
So that's why like big games like that and like Control and things like that have made their way to Nintendo Switch because of the cloud gaming capabilities on it. So that's pretty. I didn't know much about it either, but that's definitely what I'm guessing this game will be using.
Yeah, that's a bit of a game changer for Nintendo as well.
Yeah, it's really good, man. People have said that they feel a little bit of lag with it or things like that, and some people refuse to play Nintendo Switch ports, but majority of people that play those ports are pretty happy with them if they're a Nintendo gamer. And also it's interesting to see the reviews come out from IGN and stuff like that, where they separate that review from all the other reviews, sort of thing, like the Nintendo Switch version review and stuff. So yeah, it's interesting. So I'm surprised you didn't know that, but yeah, hey,
Yeah.
we're all in.
I've learned something today.
All right, now
Here
we'll move
first on Loud Media.
Yeah. Grab your Spider-Man head and drink out of it. Right now. All right, we'll move on to the next story, which is Sony PlayStation's newest debacle, which, since we were going to do this show, has kind of been solved, but I think we should still touch on it, which is PlayStation Plus subscribers. We're going to have to pay for any discounts they received for PlayStation Plus subscriptions. They're going to have to pay Sony back to move up the subscription tier when PlayStation Plus Essentials and Extra and Premium come out later in June. And when I heard this first, I thought, wow, what a shit move on a company like this. Like, what a rich, fucking snobby attitude to have towards your gaming community. And I'm just going to read you something quickly, which is what we found out. What I just found out before we started, why this story is kind of like not relevant now and why it's fallen down the list from being number 1 to number 3. But I think it's still worth talking about because it happened. So PS Plus upgrade, Sony says technical error caused extra fees for members with discounted subscriptions. This is from Econo Times. And this is written by nobody, apparently. There's no one named on it. So we're just going to go with it. The revamped PlayStation Plus launched in Asia earlier this week. But some members who have previously purchased discount subscriptions were surprised when they were charged an extra fee to upgrade to a higher tier. Now, Sony has addressed the matter, saying the added charge was only caused by a technical error. Shortly after the new PS Plus went live in the region, several players tried getting an upgrade, took to Twitter and Reddit. Trying to get an upgrade took to Twitter and Reddit with their complaints. And they were practically being asked to pay for the amount they had previously saved through a discount. On top of that, they were also asked to pay the standard upgrade fee to change their subscriptions to a higher tier. So this has since been corrected and doesn't look like it's going to be an issue. But it's something that when I first heard about it, I was like, I will not upgrade until they change it. And you know what? It doesn't affect me because I haven't bought my PlayStation Plus subscription with a discount. Like mine's on automatic renewal and just does it every month and I don't even think about it. So for me, it wouldn't have cost me anything. But just hearing that, I said, there's no fucking way I'm going to support that until they change it. And look what happened. They said it was from a technical glitch. You know what I mean? Like they were like, no, we didn't mean it. But who knows? Maybe they were just like, just see if we can hit them with an extra buck.
See how they reacted. Oh, this is doing bad. So they hit the undo button.
I can't believe that they do not have a cloud streaming service set up in Australia and we do not get the PS3 games to stream like PlayStation now did. Like have streaming. Like we still don't have access to that. We're not out of touch. Like I don't understand it. You know what I mean? It's just so weird.
Australia, where you pay premium prices for everything, yet get the shortest end of the stick.
Exactly. I love myself some short sticks. That wasn't short dicks. I said short sticks. You might have heard that wrong. So
I definitely heard dicks,
not dicks. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I said it then. I like short dicks.
It's okay.
Someone's gonna cut that out, and it's just gonna become a fucking headline, man. Tomye, short dick.
It's already my ringtone.
Stop the presses. Read all about it. All right. Now we're going to go to our next article. And it is called Old is New in 2022. And this is coming from IGN, where it's an article about the top games from 2022. And surprisingly, people are playing mostly new games, old games, and games like Elden Ring are nowhere to be seen on the ranking. So I'm going to read the article here, and it says, Despite a fulfilling start to the year of the games industry, none of the top played games during 2022's Q1 were released this year. Today, NPD's Executive Director and Video Game Industry Advisor Matt Priscatella shared stats from the NPD Group's Player Pulse, the list which chronologically ranks the top 10 games during 2022's Q1, sees games as old as 2009's Minecraft and 2013's Grand Theft Auto 5 still standing as player favorites. Here are the top 10 most played games of Q1 2022 in the United States, ranked by year of initial release. So the games are Lego Star Wars being number 10. Wait, no, sorry. Wait, what is this bullshit? Sorry, man, 1 second. You know what? All right, here we go. I think this is it here. So we've got... Okay, the top 10 games look like this. Minecraft, Grand Theft Auto 5, The Sims 4, Fortnite, Among Us, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Call of Duty Warzone, Madden NFL 2022, Call of Duty Vanguard, and NBA 2K 2022.
Really surprising. Something's not so much, something's very.
Did you hear about
Minecraft and The Sims? I'm not surprised, but
people have got to stop playing that fucking Grand Theft Auto, man. I'll tell you what. What do you think about the fact that Elden Ring's not on here at all, and games like that of that caliber aren't on the list?
I'm not incredibly surprised with Elden Ring because you've really got to like having your ass kicked and like gaming to play that. Like, there's much more of a market for The Sims and Minecraft, but Minecraft really just is the gift that keeps giving to those, isn't it? Like, it's not going anywhere.
It isn't. I don't think it is. And you know what's funny too is, did you see Babylon's Fall? What happened with that?
I did not know.
Babylon's Fall was just released by what is their name again? Platinum Games. I think they made Sekiro, and they released a game called Babylon's Fall, which is already dead because as of like last week or the week before, there was one concurrent player on. It's new. It's a new game.
Oh my god.
It's done. I'm just going to double check my facts there. Is it new? Hold on. I'm pretty sure it is. I just heard about it. Yeah, here we go. So Babylon's Fall is a game from... Babylon's Fall is an action role-playing game developed by Platinum Games and published by Square Enix. The game was released for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5 on March 3rd, 2022. And if you read the news, it says... I'm trying to find it. Babylon's Fall had one concurrent player on PC earlier. Babylon's Fall was also released onto PS4 and PS5. So on PC, it was, had one concurrent player by the time the game sort of like fell to its like lowest. So yeah, that is a shit show. I didn't even hear of the game, and I don't even remember seeing anything about it. So if I did see anything of it at press conference or something, there was 100%. It was 100% the most generic looking fucking game ever, because I have no memory of Babylon's Fall. So anyway, with that, we'll get on to our last story, which is one that apparently Alan is very upset about. And that is that Starfield has been delayed. Alan. Thoughts?
I'd like to say that there's not going to be glitches from Bethesda, and they're going to release a complete game that won't glitch. But the engine is trash.
Yeah. Well, I mean, being an Xbox fan, how important was this game to you? And are you still excited for it as you were before, or is this kind of tampered your opinion on it because it's a little further away and it's like a lot longer to wait for?
I'm definitely excited for it still, but I'm upset that I have to wait longer because I enjoy space and I enjoy Bethesda. And I wanted that. And I was looking forward to that. And I'm going to cry.
That's all right, man. That's all right. I'll just ask Jurassic Park 3's Tia Leone to come over and soothe your muscles.
Ah, yes.
Well,
Yeah.
that was just sort of something to throw in there. I have no affinity. I have no worries about this game just because I currently am not an Xbox fan. I'm not an open world RPG fan, and space is cool, but I'm not a big it's not like this is everything I want in a game. It looks cool, man, but it's just like Star Wars, bro. And if it's anything like fucking No Man's Sky, I'm not gonna be happy.
Oh, yeah.
That game was fucking shit, and I'm sorry if anyone likes it. So, actually, no, I'm not sorry. The game is fucking shit. Oh, all right. So, with that, a couple of things before we get the fuck out of here. And that is, remember, we're on Apple Podcasts now. And last night, we released our latest episode of Ranked and Reviewed. And that was for Uncharted. And you can go get our thoughts on this Ranked and Reviewed episode right now on our channel that you are currently watching this on. And I fucked up putting it up last night. So if you could go check it out now, it would be really good because I think, lost a lot of views because of the way it all went down. I fell asleep with 3 minutes to go of the upload and woke up at 3:30 in the morning and it was frozen and back to being at 70% complete. And I was like, what the fuck, man? So I plugged it in. Like, I realized my LAN cable wasn't plugged in and shit. Like, it took forever. So, yeah, we kind of released it. It premiered at like 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning. So thanks if you watched it at that time. But according to the viewer count, no one did. So, hey, we're usually better than that. So not much better, but a little bit better. So this has been Loud, a pop culture podcast. A little bit better, sometimes not. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, liked, and shared, do it. And again, as always, I'm your host, Tomye West, and joining me has been the one, the only, the Master Chief, Alannis Maximus.
Alan.
Alan! I'd laugh if it was like that, like, had cross eyes and was like, Alan! Like, so, we're out of here. And, Alan, when does the episode start?
No.